Coming up on this Q30 News online exclusive, Quinnipiac began packing students' belongings to accommodate first responders. Find out why some students are upset. Students may be away from campus, but that didn't stop this year's QTHON. Plus, hear from the big event organizers about ways Quinnipiac students gave back to their communities. All this and more COVID-19 coverage brought to you by Q30 News. Hello and welcome to the Q30 News online exclusive. I'm Cassidy Berger, reporting from my hometown of Castleton, New York. Even though the physical dance marathon couldn't be held this year, QTHON participants gathered virtually for the kids. Brooke Riley has more.
I'm rooting for you and get some money for that hospital of mine.
QTHON is Quinnipiac's annual 10-hour dance marathon that raises money for Connecticut Children's Foundation. The event was supposed to take place on Saturday, March 21st. However, due to the outbreak of COVID-19, the in-person event was canceled.
I was definitely upset when we first found out about the in-person event being canceled, but once we explored the virtual options and different options that were available to us, it definitely helped.
This didn't stop participants from raising money for the kids. The management team put together a virtual event on Instagram on Thursday, April 9th.
We were able to reach out to the performance groups and get some of their film from previous years or earlier this year. We were able to get some of the Miracle Children to share their stories and just create short videos for us. We were able to keep the student organizations involved, have them send their messages that we could post throughout the day.
We had the morale chairs ask their committee to teach the entire dance, which led into the culmination of the entire dance at the end that was posted on Facebook.
QTHON is a year-long fundraiser, but despite the circumstances, Director of Finance Benjamin Mahone said the numbers were different for a while.
At the point where we would start to pick up a lot was when all of this happened. So just following along with it throughout the year was just kind of thrilling and terrifying at the same time.
At the end of the day, the management team had an official reveal with each other on a video call and then shared the total on Instagram. The QTHON 2020 participants raised a total of $206,697.59 for Connecticut Children's.
Everybody was so incredibly proud, in tears, just kind of realizing that all of our hard work is represented in that number.
Although things didn't go as planned, the team says that QTHON 2020 was still a success. At Virtual QTHON, Brooke Riley, Q30 News.
Quinnipiac began packing students' belongings in residence halls on Tuesday to house first responders. Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont's medical surge plan includes the need for alternative spaces for medical professionals to self-isolate. University staff members will pack the belongings into sealed boxes. The boxes will stay in students' residences until the space is needed to house first responders. In this case, the boxes will be stored at the People's United Center on the York Hill campus. The university has a tentative pickup window at the end of May. Meanwhile, students have expressed their concerns about the situation through a Change.org petition, which nearly 300 students have signed. The video conferencing program Zoom has increased in popularity and use, with classes, meetings, and events moved online. These Zoom calls have also been the targets of Zoom bombing, when hijackers take control of a meeting and display graphic or derogatory content. On April 7th, Vice President and Chief Information and Technology Officer Fred Tarka emailed students with new safety requirements, including using a password for Zoom calls. Seniors all across the nation are facing difficult realities about the end of their college careers. Some members of the class of 2020 at Quinnipiac have started a petition asking the university to hold the traditional senior week at a later date.
Just wanted to thank Quinnipiac for everything they've done to keep all of us safe. It's really encouraging to be part of such a great university. It is bittersweet that it had to come to an end like this, so we were just really hoping that we could get one more chance.
The Student Government Association is encouraging Quinnipiac students to stay engaged while isolated through a slate of virtual events, including Bobcat Fridays, virtual town halls, and more. SGA Vice President for Public Relations Jamie and John Baptiste spoke with Q30 about these events.
We thought that we should still kind of, stay on that timeline and still push for them, even if it's not the same circumstances. For example, Bobcat Friday, that was something that we're really looking forward to in terms of boosting spirit and morale. And we thought that it would still be appropriate, especially during this time, for people to feel connected to the community.
More than 60 students from the Netter School of Medicine have come together to donate homemade masks. The masks will be donated to medical centers throughout Connecticut. Luke Genusaidis, one of the founders of the Extra Masks by Netter program, said, quote, "I'm astounded by the sheer number of people reaching out to help, and it is truly a testament of compassion to our community," end quote. In the spirit of community service, the big event has continued to inspire acts of kindness beyond the Quinnipiac community. Skylar Haynes has the story.
The annual Big Event Day of Service may have looked different this year, but the organization's switch to virtual didn't stop people from getting hands-on.
The best part of my day is receiving emails of pictures of even the QU families participating and students, of course.
The Quinnipiac community, while quarantined like the rest of the nation, did not let service stop at their doors.
I don't want to just sit around and kind of do nothing. I would like to be proactive about the situation, even though we literally have been told to sit down and do nothing. But there are definitely other ways that we can help.
These unique circumstances have pushed many service organizations to adapt, but they are saying that it has taught them how to reach even more people.
Social media has played a big role with service as well, which is really awesome. So like people can post like what they've done and everybody else can see it. So I think it's just been really influential.
For Big Event, they saw a surprising turnout from one group especially.
We definitely have had more faculty participate than in the past. That's actually one of our areas that we want to improve on this year. And I think that's something we're going to take into consideration for future big events.
So while future big events will be improved because of the lessons learned going virtual, this year's service is far from over.
I'm glad everybody's still doing service, even though like you would think we can't. There's so many opportunities.
Even though the big event is like over for the week of, you can still do community service no matter where you are, no matter what you have.
Our motto is one big day, one big thanks, but I feel like from this we just need to change it to one big thanks. Like there's other ways that we can give back, serve our communities, and other ways to stay positive about the situation that we're enduring.
So whether you're picking up groceries for someone or calling a loved one to check in, it doesn't take a lot to make a big and safe difference. Skylar Haynes, Q30 News.
Quinnipiac has established the Student Care Fund. The fund initially allowed students in financial need to apply for up to $1,000 in coverage. However, the demand may be greater than the supply of funds. As of Thursday, April 9th, $168,315 has been raised from 266 donors, and over 500 students have requested a total of $400,000, according to an email sent to Quinnipiac alumni. Colleges in the United States will receive $14 billion from the stimulus bill passed by Congress. Quinnipiac in particular will receive $5,345,199 with a minimum allocation of $2,672,600 to be awarded for emergency financial aid grants to students. Quinnipiac has yet to decide exactly how the money will be allocated. President Trump signed the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARES Act, into law on March 27th. The money Quinnipiac will receive originates from this act. Luca Triant has this and more coronavirus news in a national news update.
Thank you, Cassidy. And there is a lot of news happening across the United States. COVID-19 has put the country into a position it's never been in before, along with the country's institutions for higher learning. Just like here in Quinnipiac, most colleges and universities have moved schooling away from the classroom and onto the screen. But the impact of the pandemic doesn't end there. With unemployment up through the roof and money becoming hard to come by for some students, there is a possibility payments for education can't be met. The national government has recognized this in its new Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARE Act, signed into law by President Donald Trump on March 27th. The act defers all loan and interest payments for students until September 30th, along with granting over $14 billion to colleges and universities in order to keep them afloat after dorms were emptied and on-campus classes ceased. The number of positive COVID-19 cases across the country continues to rise, with the total amount of cases in the United States as of Tuesday being over 610,000. Deaths have also risen, with the nation overcoming virus-stricken Italy as having the world's most deaths at over 25,000. However, local and state leaders across the country have reported that the daily rate of cases has been decreasing in their areas. especially with New York, which has seen the most cases out of any state. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has said the curve has been flattening, echoing many others and saying the number of cases has reached its peak and that numbers are going to start to go down. However, some experts, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, one of the leading members of President Trump's coronavirus task force, says decreasing numbers isn't the end of the COVID-19 crisis just yet. Prisoners across the country have also been affected by the virus. Many prison authorities are releasing prisoners convicted of minor offenses who may be at a higher risk of coronavirus infection, and in order to slow down any would-be outbreak in prison areas. The University of California, Los Angeles states over 16,000 prisoners have been released from local, state, and federal prisons, although this makes up less than 1% of the total prison population in the U.S. Those being released are not expected to cause any danger to the public, with a portion of the inmates being released having already served most of their sentences. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has stated 13 inmates have died in the facilities it runs, although these numbers, like all the figures, are likely to change as the crisis continues. Cassidy, back to you.
Thanks, Luca. Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont announced extended closings for certain businesses. Hannah Mirsky is here to talk about this and the latest COVID-19 data out of Connecticut. Hannah?
Thank you, Cassidy. Hamden is still seeing a growth in COVID-19 as they break 300 positive tested laboratory cases. Mayor Kurt Lang updated Hamden residents on Tuesday, April 14th that there are currently 316 cases. There have also been 5 confirmed deaths, according to the State Department of Health. Mayor Lang took to social media reminding Hamden residents that there are many more people that have COVID-19 and everybody needs to continue to social distance.
So stay home, stay safe. You're helping yourself, you're helping your family. You're helping your extended family. You're helping your neighbors. You're helping your neighbor's family, your friend's family.
Governor Lamont made the decision that schools, bars, and restaurants will no longer be reopening on April 20th and instead extended guidelines to May 20th.
You got to be able to count on the fact that May 20th would be the earliest that we'd reconsider opening anything.
Schools will continue online learning over the next few weeks. Lamont says high schools will be provided with more laptops to comply with the online curriculum. Restaurants will also continue to do takeout orders for their customers. Though certain towns in Connecticut are seeing a more stabilized number of cases, many are still growing.
And even though we are seeing a little bit of good news, as I showed you, Fairfield County and the bending of the curve, a little more capacity at our hospitals, more PPE coming in, managing that well. I don't want us to get complacent.
Lamont will reevaluate reopening businesses and schools when May 20th approaches. On Wednesday, April 8th, volunteers gathered at Hamden Middle School for a food bank to load 357 cars full of food. Hamden's town employees gathered National Guardsmen and volunteers to help collect enough food to feed 390 families. Cars were lined up from the middle school parking lot, down Dixwell Avenue, and all the way down into North Haven. Hamden Police Sergeant William Onofrio said they had to turn away more than 400 families since more people are in need of food than before. The next drive-by food pantry at Hamden Middle School will be held on Monday, April 27th. And that is all I have for local news. Back to you, Cassidy.
Thanks, Hannah. We may not be in our regular studio in Hamden, but we still have a weather forecast for the tri-state area. Kate Pattyfoot has more.
Thanks, Cass. Right now, I'm actually at home in West Hartford, Connecticut, and it's so nice outside. I don't even need a coat. That's how warm it is. But I'm going to jump more into the weather updates around Hamden and around the surrounding states near Connecticut. Starting with Hamden, today it's 51 degrees, partly sunny and cloudy. Thursday, it's going to be 48 degrees, partly sunny and cloudy. Friday, it's going to be 46 degrees, rainy and cloudy, so make sure you have an umbrella. In Boston, on Wednesday today, it's 51 degrees and it's rainy and cloudy. Thursday, it's going to be 48 degrees, partly sunny and cloudy. On Friday, it's going to be 49 degrees and cloudy. In New York, on Wednesday, it's going to be 53 degrees, partly sunny and cloudy. On Thursday, it's going to be 51 degrees and sunny. And on Friday, it's going to be 48 degrees, rainy and cloudy. Back to you, Cass.
Thanks, Kay. Major League Baseball is taking on a unique role to fight against COVID-19. 27 out of 30 MLB teams have agreed to participate in a national study. The study aims to identify COVID-19 antibodies and learn more about the disease's infection rate. The MLB was chosen as a partner because of its broad geographic reach across the country. This comes after talks from both Arizona and Florida governors wishing to bring the MLB to their respective states. However, nothing is decided at this time. And sadly, the Quinnipiac community has lost a longtime faculty member. Catherine Harris, an associate professor of physical therapy, passed away on Sunday, April 12th after a brief illness. Harris most recently served as chair and program director of the physical therapy department. Quote, "She took great pride in promoting excellence within our profession and was a mentor to many within the community," end quote, wrote Dean Janelle Chiazra in an email to the Quinnipiac community. A memorial will be held at a later date. Some good news out of the law school. 2 Quinnipiac law students won the client counseling competition. The national competition was supposed to be held at Quinnipiac, however, it was redesigned and held over Zoom. The students, Brandy Perry and Megan Spicer, are both third-year law students and members of Quinnipiac's Society for Dispute Resolution team. Congratulations to everyone involved. That's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us for today's online exclusive. From everyone on camera and behind the scenes, we hope you stay safe and healthy. Stay up to date with the latest news surrounding COVID-19 and its impact on Quinnipiac and more at Q30.tv and our digital platforms at Q30 Television and at Q30 News. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Cassidy Berger. Thanks for watching.